Yo, how's it going everyone? It's me, it's Jinsula. I hope you're having a good day. Welcome to today's Pokemon GO discussion video. Okay, so there has been a lot of controversies around Pokemon GO as of late. We of course talked about the terms of service, drawing a lot of different conversations, as well as with PvP being so broken, finally being in the spotlight because the world champion came out and talked about how terrible it is. Today I kind of wanted to just talk about how I feel about Pokemon GO as of late, because I have shared a lot of my opinions regarding the current state of Pokemon GO, but I kind of want to go more in depth with how I've been feeling. Just to give you the TLDR, I feel like, well, Pokemon GO is what it is. I think that's the best way to put it. When it comes to playing Pokemon GO, I feel like the gameplay is basically the same as it's been for the past several years. It's just all about catching Pokemon, doing a whole bunch of raids for powerful Pokemon, and then you power up those powerful Pokemon to take down more raids, and that's basically the gameplay loop. And after a while, yes, it does get very tiresome, it does get very old, but I do think that when it comes to Pokemon GO, it is a self-sustaining model. The more raids come out, the more players are going to get engaged, the more powerful Pokemon come out, the more players are going to care about Pokemon GO. But that is kind of where I see the problem. When it comes to Pokemon GO, I feel like the most recent additions of the fused forms of Necrozma was probably going to breathe some life into this game. I think a lot of players are getting really excited about getting these Pokemon, and I know that a lot of players, along with myself, are working towards powering them up and maxing them out and, getting best buddies with them. That's actually what I've been doing, but I do think that for a lot of players, they're just looking for something new. I know some players were thinking about getting into PvP, but with a lot of the stuff that has come to light, I think those things are starting to fade away as well. Like, PvP as a system is starting to die off, and it's really because of Niantic's neglect. So yeah, I do think that when it comes to Pokemon GO, it is in a bit of a dire strait. Like, I don't think a lot of players really care about Pokemon GO as much as they used to. The game is pretty much only going to cater to new players, because when it comes to new players, there's so many things that they could get. But for a lot of veteran players like myself, it does get very cumbersome when, you see Ho-Oh in raids constantly, when you see the Ultra Beasts in raids constantly, and there's nothing new and nothing fresh. And then anytime there is something new and something fresh, Niantic locks it behind elite raids, or they make it very inaccessible, like with the Shadow Legendaries. Yeah, I think this is a big problem, and I think ultimately what it comes down to is that Niantic needs to take a second look at how Pokemon GO operates. Having a bunch of in-person raids for the most desirable Pokemon, I think that is a huge misstep. That takes away a lot of accessibility for a lot of these Pokemon, and on top of that, I just feel like players just do not care. Like, how many players actually care about Shadow Legendaries aside from Shadow Mewtwo? Probably not that many. I don't see a lot of raid groups forming for Shadow Entei, for example. A lot of players just simply do not care about them. And I think a big reason for that is because, simply put, they are in-person only. And because of that, players feel like it's just not worth the effort. And I think that's a huge problem, because when it comes to stuff like Shadow Legendaries, that is a huge missed opportunity in my opinion. I really feel like Niantic has really hindered the growth of the game, really hindered the excitement levels of the game, simply because of nerfing remote raids. Ever since they did that, the excitement around this game has really died off. It's really tapered off. I don't know what numbers they're looking at. I don't know what people are telling them, like some of the content creators and some of the influencers who are just always going to be in favor with anything Niantic does. I don't know what they're hearing. Well, I don't know what the messaging is around Pokemon GO, but I really do feel like there is nothing exciting about the game as of right now, and that is a huge problem. So what is it that I feel like they could do to fix this issue? Well, first and foremost, I think they need to focus on making PvP actually playable. Having all of these different issues and having all of these different bugs really draws a lot of players away from that system. And in my opinion, PvP is one of those things where it could create a lot of longevity for Pokemon GO if they were to take it seriously. But I do feel like with the system as it currently is, nobody really cares about PvP aside from those who are already bought in. It's really hard to get into PvP. Accessibility is a huge issue. The bugs and glitches are obviously a huge issue. And just in general, I just feel like the curve to like really be engaged in PvP, to be really good at PvP is just way too high. It's just the ceiling, the gap between a new player and someone who is, let's say, a legend rank or a consistent ace rank, it is really huge. Like, you need yourself some of the best Pokemon for PvP, specifically for PvP, to even have a chance at the higher ranks. And because of that, the competitiveness of PvP is just incredibly difficult. And then when you get to those places where you can actually compete, it's also really difficult because of all the bugs and glitches. I just feel like, I don't know what Niantic is doing with PvP, to be honest with you. I feel like PvP is such a missed opportunity when it comes to Pokemon GO's endgame, that Niantic just doesn't know what to do with their golden goose egg, their golden egg goose. It's just PvP in and of itself can create decades of longevity with Pokemon Go. I mean, just think about any game that focuses on competitive natures, like competitive aspects. If they do it right, those games have incredible longevity, but Pokemon Go is just not tapping into that. And I really do think that what it comes down to is that they should just take some time and come up with ways to fix PvP, all the different issues with PvP. And I'm not just talking about the bugs and glitches. There's a lot of things with PvP that need fixing. Aside from that, they need to fix the accessibility, which I did mention, but I also think that, when it comes to a lot of the different aspects of the gameplay, they need to add like a practice mode, for example. They need to add different ways for you to rank up aside from just grinding it out every day. And I really do think that what they need to do is take away the 25 battle limit every day. Like, what they should do is that they should only tie the rewards to your first 5 battles, or the 5 sets of battles, but after that, they should allow you to continue to battle and continue to get higher ranks. I think that would be one of the best ways they can get more players involved. But as of right now, it just feels incredibly grindy. It feels like another daily chore that you have to do. So I really do not think they have a good grasp of how they could make PvP engaging and actually fun. And I think that is a huge problem. Now, before I just turn this into just a mindless rant, I do want to suggest that there are a couple of things that Pokemon Go is doing really well. At the very least, I think that is, of course, the in-person events. I think if they were to do more in-person events, I'm talking about stuff like Go Tour and Go Fest, I think that would be really good for the game as well. Because right now, since Go Fest is over, there's really nothing to look forward to. We're all looking forward to, I guess, the Go Tour event next year. It's a big missed opportunity that they're not doing something in the fall. Maybe they're going to be doing more City Safari events. They haven't really announced anything. Of course, Go Fest ended much earlier than usual this time around, so maybe they are gearing up for something that will be happening in the fall and winter months. But I do think that having more in-person events would definitely breathe a lot of life into Pokemon Go. Go Fest was definitely really good this year, personally speaking. I know there's some players out there who did not like this year's Go Fest, but I personally think it's one of the best Go Fests that we've ever had. And I'm not just saying that because I got a Shundo Necrozma. I personally feel like the vibe and the sentiment and the gameplay decisions that they had around Go Fest this year were all really good. And I just do think that Niantic needs to do more with in-person events. Have more of them. I think having Go Tour in the beginning of the year, having Go Fest in the middle of the year, and then capping it off with another Go event at the end of the year would be a good model, and it's something that they should consider. So yeah, all in all, I think Pokemon Go is kind of in a state where it is what it is. Like I said earlier, I feel like it's just more of the same, and there's not much Niantic could do aside from fixing what's already there. And I really do hope that they spend the next year, maybe the next half year, just focusing in on that. If they fix PvP, if they make rating a lot better, I think a lot more players will be more okay with the game as it currently is. And I do think it's something that Niantic should consider. But yeah. Anyway, that's going to be the end of this rant. That's going to be the end of this mindless rabble. I don't know, I'm just kind of dumping my thoughts because Pokemon Go is a game that I really enjoy, and I do want to see it improve. And having all of these videos being so negative towards Niantic and Pokemon Go just does not feel well. Like, it's something that I really like, and it's something that I really want to see succeed. But with everything that Niantic is doing, it just feels like it's going the opposite direction of what I feel like would make the game successful. So Yeah, I think these are just some good discussions that we can have. I really hope Niantic takes note of a lot of these things, and yeah, I just want to see Pokemon Go succeed, and hopefully it will. But in any case, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for making it all the way to the end. If you ended up enjoying it, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if it's your first time here. And don't forget that little bell so you can stay up to date on whenever I upload videos. And I want to give a shout out to all of my patrons on Patreon. You make this channel content possible. If you want to support the contents of the channel, the absolute best way you could do so is, of course, joining my Patreon. And if you choose to do that, you will get a permanent spot on my in-game Pokemon Go friends list. So when it comes to remote raids and the friendship system, if you want to play Pokemon Go with me, then make sure you go and check out my Patreon. And if you want to support my channel in a different way, you could do so by following me on social media. My handle is @Jinsula. I'm on the platforms that you see on screen. Make sure you go over there and give me a follow. And hopefully we'll interact over there. And that's going to be it for this video. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself, and I'll catch you all later.
진솔아와 함께해